There it is.
Hey guys, Federate Federation, and today we have some guests over. Introduce yourselves.
Guys, I've just had a business message come through, so I'm gonna go. Can I
Oh
go?
shit.
So,
That
yeah.
fast.
Mitchell, you support Trump, so you're a Nazi.
Of course he supports Trump.
More of a fascist.
The time has come to
A helicopter ride.
You had a helicopter ride. You're in the oven. That's what you
Alright, so what do you guys want to talk about?
The time has come to build a big, giant, massive wall around Scotland.
Beta cuck faggot losers.
Oh, you want to talk about beta cuck faggot losers?
Hangout's full of racists.
They shall get a bunch of helicopter rides. T. James can't. Chris Cantwell.
Time for freedom, helicopter ride.
Hey, Tom, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I think I have something wrong with my mic. It seems to be cutting out.
What's that? Alright, what do you guys want to talk about? Like,
Feeble goggles.
Free speech.
The mentality of the
You know, if I put this on my channel, all the commies would come over and like just leave a bunch of hate.
by the way, I'm gonna be mentioning, so these people whose names should not be mentioned, I got into an argument with these people on Facebook, and like I heard one of them say that Hillary Clinton is better than Donald Trump. What do you guys think?
Oh my. No, she's not.
This is a demon. You seen her eyes?
Hillary Clinton is better at Donald Trump, at ushering in cultural Marxism and degeneracy. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's the only thing that's true.
Something Trump said.
Yeah,
Not satisfied.
oh yeah, like what do you guys think of Trump? Hey Mitchell, you might want to put on the volume up because we could barely hear you.
I can barely hear you, Goya.
I don't know how to fix my microphone.
Of course. I can't do a Bane. So I was gonna get that.
George Soros is messing with your microphone, Feeble Goya.
My microphone is okay, isn't it?
Tom, do you think you could dispel the myth that Rhodesia was racist?
Beta cuck faggot losers.
Well, I mean, people who say that Rhodesia was racist probably don't know very much about Rhodesia.
Oh, of course not.
Especially during the end, they had a black president. Blacks were allowed in pretty much every aspect of the government and the economy. There was no laws like there were in South Africa that segregated blacks from whites.
Oh, sorry.
So, yeah, I heard an echo. But, yeah, blacks and whites enjoyed pretty much the same privileges in Rhodesia, especially towards the end there.
Damn. So in Rhodesia, there was no segregation, right?
Yeah, they didn't have apartheid like there was in South Africa.
Also, so the people whose name I will not be mentioned.
Your mic's cutting out!
Who, mine?
Yes!
Hold up.
Holy
So the
cow,
people-
man.
So people whose names should not be mentioned, we're just lying about there being segregation in Rhodesia.
Of course.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Blacks in Rhodesia did have a lower standard of living, but that wasn't because of any government policies or, deliberate discrimination. The reason why they have lower standards of living is because you have to understand that black Africans have a very different understanding of private property than Europeans do. Because in Rhodesia, a white man could have the exact same wage as a black man, yet the white man, well, he'll live in a house, he'll just enjoy a high standard of living, whereas the black man, the reason why he was comparatively poorer was because in Africa, if you own property, like let's say a house or a car, that car and that house does not exclusively belong to you. That belongs to your entire family, your extended family, all your relatives and friends, because that's just the way they see things. You don't. Your property is not solely yours to dispose of. It belongs to all your family as well. So the blacks, they had other people living in their houses with them. So their standards of living were considerably less than the whites. But that wasn't because of any sort of discriminatory policies.
Yeah. What do you guys think of the whole white genocide in South Africa?
Or Zimbabwe.
Well, I mean, they usually say that there's one in South Africa.
I don't have too much of an opinion. Haven't heard much about it.
Well, yeah, there are. I mean, to be honest with you, I think that both blacks and whites were much better under apartheid than they are today. I mean, even black people say that. I mean, the Zulu leader came out recently and said, "Yeah, we want to bring apartheid back because shit sucks right now." I mean, just go look up for yourselves what the effect of ending apartheid had on the major cities in South Africa. I mean, a lot of them have just degenerated into utter shitholes. You have people, you have a bunch of blacks coming in from, the jungles, and they don't really know how to live in an urban setting. And so a lot of them have just destroyed a lot of the infrastructure that the white people have created. I mean, you have these high-rise buildings that, they've just taken over. They shit down the elevator shafts, they knock out walls, and then, shit out of windows, everything. There's just trash.
What? Literally, they put their butt out the window in shit.
Yeah, no, yeah, they've.
Oh, what?
They remove an entire wall of a building, and then they just shit out the window.
What a bunch of freaking wild and savages, dude.
Here's the thing about apartheid. Like,
another thing is that the whites have basically been relegated to a very small part of South Africa right now. I mean, there's only a couple million whites still living there, and the thing is, they're not allowed to leave because whites in South Africa pay about 75% of the country's taxes. So even if the white people want to leave because the black people are treating them like shit and they're trying to kill them, they can't because the government won't let them leave, or they at least they make it very difficult for them to leave because they're the ones paying the taxes. So it's kind of a really messed up situation right now. I wouldn't want to be a white person in South Africa. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I don't blame the National Socialists like the Afrikaner Resistance and shit.
Yeah. Here's another thing about you know how a lot of times these leftists will tell you that just because you were against the communists in South Africa that automatically means you're in support of the apartheid. Well, here's the thing. Me and Soldier of Seven found this black conservative leader who was against both the apartheid and the communists.
I'm sure there were a lot of those people, especially while apartheid was still in effect. I'm sure you had a lot of people who were against it. But now that they've seen what the effects are of integration, they yearn for the old days.
Yeah, exactly. I'm also looking at that right now, where they say that a lot of black people in South Africa are wanting to go back under apartheid.
Mm-hmm.
How dare you say that? That's racist.
Because under apartheid, blacks and whites were separated, but they still had social programs to help the black people. But ever since they ended apartheid, you have black people coming from other parts of Africa, like the Congo or all these other places that have very low living standards, coming to Africa because they think they're going to get a better life there, when in reality everybody else is doing the same thing, and it just ends up being South Africa is looking more and more like the rest of Africa.
If right now leftists were to be hearing this conversation right now, they'll be taking what you say out of context and saying that you called black people inferior when you didn't say that.
Or call them apes or something.
I don't care. That's all they do. They don't listen to arguments. They just look for sound bites and then just take it out of context. Like, you're a racist, man.
Yeah, it's not like people who can't be named.
Yeah. By the way,
Yeah,
this is a new channel I'm using. I'm gonna use it to just like shitpost and maybe do the occasional live stream. So yeah.
all right.
Oh, that explains it then.
Yes. So another thing I wanted to ask, because like lately I've also argued with some third worldists on Facebook, like people like Jason Unruh, people that basically follow that concept of Maoist third worldism. What do you think? Since they have this theory that the evil whitey from the Western countries came out of nowhere and just slaughtered a bunch of them, took their resources. What do you? And that's why they're so poor. Why do you think what makes a third world country poor? Because I guarantee you, not all third world countries have been colonized.
Yeah, well, I mean, that it would require a huge explanation to explain why third world countries are poor. I mean, there's a multitude of reasons, but if you look at Africa, I would just say that they don't have the same value system that Europeans or East Asians do, and that just leads to dysfunctional societies.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they don't have the same, as I said, they don't have the same conception of property rights. They don't have the same conception of individual autonomy and freedom as many people in the West do, and I think that we take that for granted. We don't really recognize this Western mentality as being inherited from Europe, but it has been. This is a fundamentally European worldview that a lot of us have, and like I find it really funny when, American black Africans they get this idea into their head that oh, I'm gonna go back to the motherland, I'm gonna go back to Africa and be with my people, and then they go back there, and the African blacks they just fucking hate them. Like they hate
the Dindu kind of thing.
Yeah, we should send all members of the new Black Panther Party over to Africa, and then trade them for the Africans that live over there.
Oh, the Afrikaners? Oh, like the Boers and
not the Afrikaners, but like the African people in general.
Yeah, because like a lot of these like red, black, and green back to Africa people, they've never been to Africa. They don't know any African people. They don't have no idea what it's like over there. And when they go over there, they get their asses kicked by real Africans who fucking hate their guts.
Like shit, nigga, give me that.
Plus, another many of those Africans hate them is because they have like using it up. They instead try to blame all their problems on evil whitey man. Shit.
Yeah.
Shit, nigga. Didn't do nothing. Yeah.
Give me my reparations.
Oh, gives me that. That's the.
Yeah.
Give me that 350. Nope.
Give me those slavery reparations, yo. We were gangs, and you took our civilization, yo.
It was Kangs. You wasn't Kangs, faggot.
But the thing about the Egyptians, they were Arabs. They were not black.
No, Egyptians actually they're not Arabs, because Arabs in ancient times were in the Arabian Peninsula. And the Arabs expanded, that was after Islam, when Muhammad died.
Well, I mean, there was one dynasty, I think, was it the 12th dynasty of Egypt that was black? But that only lasted for a very short time before it was overthrown.
Well, all you have left of the ancient Egyptians are the Coptics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, all you need to do is look at ancient Egyptian art to see that ancient Egyptians were not black at all. In fact, they look more white than anything.
Who was Kangs?
To me, they just look brown, have white features.
Well, I mean, the pyramids to store grain.
The way they depicted themselves was that the men were typically of a light brown or reddish color, because men they were the ones who were working. They spent all the day out in the sun, so like naturally they got a tan. But when you see ancient Egyptian depictions of women, they're typically like white or like creamy complexion, which suggests that, you know, ancient Egyptians were closer to white people than they are to like sub-Saharan Africans.
I'd say Semites, probably even like Carthaginians were like that too. They were like somewhat weird.
Yeah, they probably had
Numidians, Carthage, Egypt.
Yeah, probably had part of some Semitic lineage for sure.
Yeah.
Give me that. Give me that Reformation. Give me that 350.
Have you seen that video of that the black negress like assaulting the guy with the dreadlocks?
Oh, that's cultural appropriation, man. Shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the white dude with the dreadlocks.
Yeah. He was like, you know, ancient Egyptians had dreadlocks, and then that woman's like, "Are you Egyptian? Where is Egypt?" And then she like assaults him as he's trying to get away.
And she like grabs him like, "Get back here," kind of thing.
Oh yeah,
I mean, that's just
what do you think of that?
what's going on, and that's just a microcosm of what's going on in campuses across the country. Is you have people just, you know, assaulting their classmates because they don't conform to their ideology, even when it's something as simple as, "Oh, I don't like your hairstyle, cultural appropriation, I'm gonna kick your ass."
Yeah, unfortunately.
And you wonder why you have like politicians like Trump on the rise when you have
exactly.
all these like
the
feral
the thing is, like, most of these people, like, who are anti-Trump, like the SJWs and the entire left in general, it's them who's making me like Trump even more.
Yeah, I mean, even people who were not Trump supporters previously, they say like, look at all these insane people who are against Trump. It makes me like him even more. So I mean, you're not alone.
You could explain. Some people could use to go, "Oh, that explains Delta's fascist sympathies or shit."
And another thing is, like, remember after the whole riots here in Chicago? Yeah, after that, I heard Trump got very stronger in the polls.
Yeah. Do you have any anecdotes or stories about that since you live in Chicago?
Oh, the Dindu riots, like, "Shit, get rid of fucking Trump, man."
I mean, my uncle went to the Trump rally, and he was even on the news too when that came up. I even sent the picture to Delta, where like he was coming out and some like dude wearing a Palestinian scarf tried to pull him, and my uncle had to push him back.
Wow.
I heard a thing like in Europe after the Brussels attacks, like some cuckwad and some guy and some nationals like punched the dude in the face, knocked the dude out because he's like, "Oh." It was like I think it was like a screenshot I sent to Ethan on Facebook.
Did you see that that video clip of that one transsexual woman punching a police horse because she hates Trump?
What the hell? That doesn't even make sense.
Yo, Tom, I heard of like something in Sweden, like there was a nationalist protest. I think I didn't tell Ethan this, but like some Antifa, they stole a Swedish flag and like a bunch of nationalists went and kicked the guy's ass. Literally kicked the shit out of him because they got super mad. And it's like, you don't play games with these kind of people, man.
Yeah, I've heard stories of crazy SJWs driving around the American countryside stealing pro-Trump signs. I would love to see one of these people just get their asses kicked when they try that shit.
Trust me,
or shot because they're trespassing on private property.
Yeah, you know what's going to happen, though? Like, one of these people is going to go steal one of these signs. They're going to get shot or killed or otherwise injured, and then you know what the leftist media is going to do? They're going to blame it on Trump. They're going to be like, some crazy Trump supporter shot some innocent woman. This has to stop. You know?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is making me even like I wanted to like start a a nationalist movement, but I may not now with all these crazies around because if they were to do something dumb like say supporters of the movement like reacted and like kicked the shit out of them, they'd be like, "Oh, look at these evil racist whiteys."
I mean, it would be easier for you though, because they can't pull the race card. They can't call you a racist.
If they still like an American flag or something, that ends so badly.
Yeah.
Be like, well, they wouldn't be able to do it. They can't do the race card. They'd be like, "Oh no, you know what they do, Tom? They'd say he's an Uncle Tom, man. Shit." Forgot about that. You're an uncle. He's an Uncle Tom. He's not a real black person.
The thing is, though, like you don't like in order to network with other like-minded
Yeah,
people, other like alt-right individuals, you don't need to be like expressively fascist
did you
or
guys see the
racist.
video?
All you need to do is be like, you know, we like American culture, we like our heritage, and we just want to talk about like you know, American nationalism and how great it is to be American. And trust me, you're going to get a lot of alt-right people coming over and joining you.
Well, I think with most people, even like being openly
Yeah.
fascist, it'd be a game over kind of shit. Because most people, like, being a fascist is a bad thing in America.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, they can't attack you for being patriotic for
Oh, yeah, they can't.
American culture. So that's what you have to do.
Hey, Tom, what do you think?
Sorry, you're cutting out, Ethan.
He's dead.
What do you think of Antifa?
Shit, man.
I'm gonna say this.
I actually knew a guy in high school. He was from Germany. He was like really big into Antifa. He like participated in all these rallies and shit. And apparently, like the government actually funds and condones Antifa's activities because it's sort of like controlled opposition to these nationalist parties.
Oh, the NPD and things like that.
Yeah, if you get like UKIP or you know, what's that?
NDP.
You have these people like taking to the streets and having a demonstration. All the government needs to do is unleash the Antifa crowds on them to beat the shit out of them. So it's really disgusting because they're essentially a gang who are contracted by the government to go around beating the shit out of political opposition. It's really disgusting, actually.
It is.
They need to be physically removed.
Too.
Oh, so Nationals
They
Fight
claim
Back
to-
isn't bad.
Who hate the government, but yet they work for the government, and usually it's these ANCOMs who go around using.
Yeah, you know who a big funder of Antifa is, right?
George Soros.
Oh, that's not a surprise.
Yeah, he's
Wait,
donated
You can't do an echo of George Soros. That deep voice fits him perfectly.
I don't know what you're talking about, man. That is George Soros. He's right here with me. All I need to do is provide him with the blood of white children in a chalice, and he comes on to all these hangouts. It's great.
Oh, Soros, I have a question for you. What blood do you recommend? Blonde children, brunette children, or redhead children's blood?
It doesn't matter as long as they're white.
I don't think it matters to Mr. Soros. He's not picky when it comes to white blood.
I see.
Here's the thing about most of those ANCOMs. Many of them claim to be like against the government. They claim to be anti-government, but they use the government to censor people that they disagree with. And like many of those Antifa members are anarcho-communists. So they're pretty much being government thugs.
Yeah,
Well,
I just want to say that anarcho-capitalism is the dumbest fucking ideology ever.
I agree with that.
Normally I'm not so like dismissive of people's beliefs, but like anarcho-communism is just fucking stupid. I'm
You
sorry.
said anarcho-capitalism, then anarcho-communism.
No, like anarcho-capitalism I can understand. Like I can understand why you would think that it works, even though I personally don't believe it. But anarcho-communism is just it's dumb.
It is
Just
trash.
don't even- Like anarcho-communists, what we need to do is just like
These people got to get thrown out of fucking helicopters.
There's a guy who cannot be named Butt Boys who actually left anarchism, like this Black Cat guy. He actually became an ML.
I don't agree.
Had an attack with him.
Have you always been a Marxist faggot?
Well, I don't agree with anarcho-capitalism either, but if I had to pick between that and anarcho-communism, I'm totally going with anarcho-capitalism.
Nah, no anarchism at all. It's all retarded.
because like
Here's the thing about
wait, one second, Ethan. Say what you want about anarcho-capitalism and like how it might work in reality. At least it's ideologically consistent. Because like capitalism essentially is just the recognition of private property, free markets, and all that stuff. And in sort of a highly restricted, vacuum-sealed world, you could have capitalism without a government. I just think that, you know, the prospect of invasion from other countries and just like the initiation of force in general, I don't think it could happen ever. But at least
yeah, exactly. That's what I was gonna say.
Getting rid of government would be a waste of time anyway. Like, it would take hundreds of years to literally just get rid of a government, period.
Well, that's why Marxists have a transitional stage between capitalism and communism.
But even that doesn't work because, I mean, every single time they implement it, the government enjoys way too much of its power, so it doesn't, like, go away or become stateless. It just ends up a totalitarian state.
And besides, anarcho-capitalism, despite the fact whether if you agree with it or not, I don't necessarily agree with it, but it has a better chance of working than anarcho-communism, and the main reason why is because how the fuck are you going to get people to share and redistribute the wealth and give up their property? You can't do that without a government or some type of militant force, unless if you go all mafia.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't just initiate socialism by the ballot box. It doesn't work that way. Contrary to what certain people might have you believe.
Yeah. I love their argument. I think I was seeing like this guy. He was saying like how Pinochet was terrible and that he didn't prove a single argument that why Allende was any good.
Yeah, except that he was democratically elected.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, that's the thing. That they even said this in the Daily Show. Like, the thing is, many of these guys do not name a single good thing Allende did. All they do is brag about how he was elected, and then from there they're pretty much done.
The time has come.
Read my lips. Allende did nothing right.
The time has come to destroy all communists.
Yep, bro. Hey, Tom, play the drop of Christopher Cantwell. These people need to be thrown out of freaking helicopters.
These people gotta get thrown out of fucking helicopters.
Yep, that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, the fact that your head.
Oh, you don't like that? Oh, you don't like me saying that? Aw.
Yeah, all these people who support Allende, they're just a bunch of
Beta cuck faggot losers.
Get the fuck out of you. Yeah,
We're
so I guess.
Faggot. Marxist, socialist, trash, retarded.
That same guy accused you of being a fascist.
Whatever. Hey, to be honest, man, I think that Angry Bastards knows that I'm not a fascist. He's just trying to publicly shame me, and it didn't work.
No, here's the thing. It's just that he's being someone who I will not mention's pun for that because the other one is too much of a coward to do the video himself, so he's getting Angry Bastards to do so.
Yeah, I definitely see that.
Yeah, or it's the same guy says. I was talking to Ethan about him earlier about some stuff. I'm not gonna mention it here.
But let's just go about. Let's just talk about anarcho-communism right now, just for a couple seconds.
Yeah.
So, remember how people like to say that it happened in Catalonia?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, the thing is, at that time, there was a Marxist state around it, and I heard that some of the businesses as well, the small businesses, were privately owned, and it was just a small territory, and everything else was just a Marxist state.
Yeah, I mean, like, anarchist Catalonia wasn't very big, and it didn't last for a very long time. And even while it did exist, it was incredibly dysfunctional. I mean, militarily, it was just a disaster. They attacked, right-wing groups. They attacked even their own people who were on their side, like the international brigades. They were attacking them during the Spanish Civil War, even when supposedly they were on their side. So.
Oh wow! So they weren't even attacking just like the Phalange or like the Carlists. They were just going after everyone.
Yeah, they were just a gang of thugs, basically. A glorified thug.
It was like it's almost like the Iceland Commonwealth, which was considered anarchy, and all those people did was fight.
Yeah, that's what anarchy breeds. It's just endless strife and conflict.
It's basically just like it's only good for the mafia, anarchism.
It's only good for crooks and thugs. Because that's what anarchists are.
Like, anarchism, deep down, it's not good for the people. It's only good for the mafia because it's basically mafia rule.
Well, actually, I would say that it's not good for anybody, not including the mafia, because in countries like in places like southern Italy where the mafia is very strong, the mafia is incredibly involved in the government. Like the government is very corrupt, and the mafia will pay off government officials to look the other way, oftentimes, or to give them special privileges. So, I mean, the mafia relies heavily on the government.
Yeah, but even without the government, they would still try to find ways to maintain power. They would just end up fighting rival gangs.
That's just kind of a question. How was the mafia under fascist Italy? I never looked into that. Like, what happened to the mafia in that period?
I think the mafia was like, I think they were against Mussolini.
Yeah, I'm not too sure actually.
I have to look into
I
that.
heard the mafia was against Mussolini.
I think I read somewhere. I don't know. I think I could be wrong, but I think I did read somewhere a while back about how Mussolini tried to crack down on the mafia, but it didn't work.
Yeah, many of them just moved here to the U.S.
Well, that's probably why you had like Capone and all of his gangs leaving.
Yeah, I'm reading actually the Wikipedia article about that, and it says that during the Mussolini regime, the fascists actually tried to get rid of the mafia, and they almost eradicated them from Sicily.
Well, wait a minute. Who said Al
Well, that's
Capone?
That's not bad. Well, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Get commies say, "You fascists are terrible." Crush
said-
the mafia.
Who said Al Capone? Al Capone
Oh, I did. That was Chicago. So it's like Chicago, New York. That's what
Yeah, well, he was born in New York, but he moved to Chicago.
all these crooks and. So I'm like, yeah, commies who say fascists didn't do anything. Almost got rid of the mafia. They would have probably done the same thing though too. You
Yeah,
defeated
but-
Mussolini's.
Well, actually, have you ever heard of the Red Star Mafia?
Yeah,
What's that?
I've heard of him, but I don't know him that much.
I think it existed in the USSR.
Oh, the Russian mafia. I mean,
Yeah, a lot of Russian mobsters actually served in the Red Army.
Well, a lot of them were conscripted, so they didn't really have a choice.
yeah, they had
Yeah.
they had like mandatory conscription.
Like during the Second World War, they were all sent to the front line, and if you survived, then after the war, they were either sent back to prison.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, really? I'm gonna fight for you. You're gonna send me back to prison? Fuck you. I'm gonna go to the fucking. I'm just gonna go join the Allies. I'm gonna go join
fuck
the.
it. I got a better idea. Or fuck it, I'd rather serve in the Wehrmacht than be like that.
I don't know about the Wehrmacht, but I'll just wait till the American soldiers come by, and I'll just go join them.
Well, the SS, they had like, was it the Russian Liberation Army? Like they tried to get like a force of
Yeah.
Russians to fight against them. Fight against the Soviet Union.
Yeah. It was like a form of collaborators. They did that in Ukraine. They did that in France. They did that in Denmark.
Well, that was Vichy France. I know that was the Vichy government.
Yeah, they had like a collaborating militia. I don't know how it's pronounced. It starts with an M though. It's called Militia or something.
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
French. I'm assuming it's French.
Yeah, it's like it was a collaborating militia. The Japanese did it too in Korea and China.
Oh yeah, like they had like a reformed Republic of China, like with the Japanese Empire.
Yeah, what I find to be very interesting about the Second World War was the degree of collaboration with the Nazis of many of the Baltic states, like Lithuania and Latvia. And
Oh, they hated the Soviets, man. They hated
Yeah.
their guts.
Oh, yeah, the Soviet Union invaded them, didn't they?
Yeah.
they
They made
in
them republics.
1940.
Yeah, after World War I, a lot of those places were granted independence for a very short time before the Soviet Union invaded them and then annexed them to the Soviet Union.
Made them republics and crap.
Yeah, and if you remember,
Like if you look at like the death tolls of Jews during the Second World War, some of the highest like death rates of Jews were among like Lithuania and Latvia, because they believed that they had like the Nazis, they had a very strong association between Jews and communism, and they held a lot of the Jews within those countries responsible for being invaded by the Soviet Union.
I want to actually ask you guys a question. Have you heard of Lehigh at all?
Yeah.
I think it was like Alvin Stern or something like that. It was in the British man. They were a Jewish fascist movement, revisionist Zionists during World War II.
yeah, I heard the name. I don't know too much about them, but
They
I
fought
have
against
heard
they
about
fought
them.
against Britain. They fought against the British Mandate during the war. And they were pro-fascist and Zionists. So it's all those idiots who say Zionism and fascism are not compatible. It's like, yeah, that group shows you're full of shit. Only if Jews actually supported it.
Yeah, but when you take the Israeli flag and put a swastika on it, then that's just plain stupid.
Oh, that is stupid, because that's National Socialism. That's not fascism. If they did like the Lahai symbol on the flag, I'd get it. I'd be like, okay, that's reasonable.
Do you guys think that National Socialism could work in Israel?
No.
Oh, no, they hate it, dude. They won't even, like...
Well, I mean, like, minus the whole anti-Semitism thing. I mean...
You mean like the Israeli version of National Socialism? Like,
oh, yeah. Like what like Lahai did, like the Lahai image of what Israel would be? Yeah, of course.
I don't know about that. That probably wouldn't work too well, because there was still a lot of laborers, Labor Partiers, whatever they call their Labor Party.
Oh, fuck the Israeli Labor Party, man. Terrible.
Yeah, they're pro-Hamas or something.
Oh, they're a bunch of cucks. Like, Netanyahu should really just have him thrown over into the Gaza Strip.
Because, like, what's interesting about Israel is it's probably the country in the world that has the strictest immigration laws concerning ethnicity. Like, in order to be prioritized for, Israeli citizenship, you have to demonstrate that you are ethnically Jewish. Whereas, like, if you want to emigrate to like France or Germany, it doesn't really matter whether you're ethnically French or German. Whereas in Israel, it does. So they have a lot of similarities with National Socialism in that respect, because they see themselves as a distinct ethnic group, and they pursue policies that grant priority to that ethnic group.
I support Israel, but the thing is, I don't have like a blind support for them. Like, I'm very critical of the things that they do.
Well, yeah, I mean,
of course. Well, I just wanted to say, like, Israel does have a Muslim and Christian population as well.
Yeah, like, there's a lot of Arab Christians. A lot of them, like, things like some commies, they use that as an example, as you Christians should be pro-Palestine, yet there's a lot of those Christians that support Israel, and they're even against their Palestine being a country, because they're like, it's just going to be a poor shithole, just like the rest of the Middle East.
Despite the fact that Hezbollah has bombed churches before?
Yeah, there's a link I saw the other day, I was reading it, where it says that the Israeli army has been witnessing an increase in a lot of Arab Christian recruitment.
I don't blame them.
I've even been attacked by a couple of commies for being a Christian Zionist, and you're a shill, and how dare you hold this position.
I mean, frick, they even got Muslims serving as high-ranking officers in the IDF. Do you have high-ranking Jewish people in Hezbollah? No.
Oh, no, because they hate Jews. Part of their ideology is anti-Semitism.
Yeah, so don't give me this crap, Hal. They're not anti-Semitic, they're just anti-Zionist.
Oh, yeah, we catch them on that shit all the time, right, Ethan?
Every time we catch them, they just say, I am not anti-Semitic, I'm just anti-Zionist.
Kill the occupiers and kick them out, and it's like, yeah, you're such not an anti-Semite. Sure.
Yeah, a lot of people who use the term Zionism have no idea what it means.
Yeah, they don't. It's just like straw mans.
Yeah, like Ryan Dawson.
Yeah, there were actually a lot of high-ranking Nazi officers like Reinhard Heydrich and Adolf Eichmann who described themselves as Zionists.
Oh, they want a Jewish state over there.
Yeah.
Well, that's what Lahai was. It was a fascist movement designed to create a fascist Jewish state. That was their goal to be.
It's kind of funny how they would survive, because if you realize that there were actually Jewish people who served in the Nazi army, and then when it turned out I'm sorry, I just woke up. But when the government found out about it, half of them were literally killed.
Well, I know there were a lot of Jews serving in the Wehrmacht.
I know, but the thing is that most of them were killed.
Unless they were like officers or shit or something like that.
No, even some officers were killed. I don't even know why they wanted to join in the first place. Some of them said it was because, like, some Jewish... Like, there was this one Jewish they interviewed who was serving in the Wehrmacht, and he said it was like they were hoping, like, maybe if they served in the army, then maybe they could, like, be in, like, the government's good graces or something, where the government wouldn't kill them or throw their people in jail or something.
Well, I mean, I actually don't know about that because you guys know about Erich von Manstein, who was one of the high-ranking generals for the Germans in World War II. His birth name was Lewinsky, which is a Jewish name. So, I mean, obviously he had some Jewish blood in him, and he survived the war. So, I mean, in the officer corps who had Jewish blood, but they just turned a blind eye to it.
But I also remember there was this one famous German soldier. That they would use on their propaganda posters, that they started using this for their propaganda posters after the invasion of Poland. And like it turns out that soldier that they used for their poster turned out to be Jewish, and when they found out, they had him killed.
Yeah, I heard about that actually.
Yeah, also George Soros himself being a Jew, didn't he also collaborate with the Nazis during the occupation of Hungary?
Yeah.
I only collaborated with them to stab them in the back.
Like he collected all their private property after he sold them off to the Nazis so they could be sent to labor camps.
Yeah, he sold off all Jewish property to the Nazis.
He's like, I only did that to stab them in the back.
Hey guys, I'm pretty sure people like the leftists are watching this, and they're just going to be like,
anti-Semitism.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I don't care because they don't even listen to arguments like you said. All they do is just sugarcoat everything you say with left-wing drivel.
They sugarcoat everything about Nicaragua. I know this.
Oh yeah, can we talk about Nicaragua since Brandon's an expert on this?
Well, if you notice, Nicaragua has been brought up a few times in the presidential campaign, and as you know, there's some stuff going on there right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nicaragua.
So do you think there's gonna be another Contra uprising?
I'm not so sure. Like I was doing some reviews. Apparently, like I was listening to people from Latin America, and they say, "Oh, these are just a bunch of thugs running around up in the mountains dealing drugs and all that shit." People talk about revolution in Nicaragua all the time. It ain't gonna happen. Where you have some people saying, "Oh man, this is it. A time bomb is about to go off." You don't know. It could happen. It could not. I never said it would, but I always predicted that a possibility of it happening could occur over the last couple of years, because it is pretty clear that former Contras have rearmed. It's pretty clear that communist China is wanting to build a canal through Nicaragua, is causing a lot of anger towards Nicaraguans. So I'm assuming something big is going to happen, but I don't know if it's going to be another Contra war.
Yeah, like you have people like what's his name, Noam Chomsky, who they constantly talk about how bad the Contras were. You know, they raped and murdered all these people. Shame on them. But yet they'll turn a blind eye to the crimes committed by the Sandinistas.
Sandinistas.
Wait, Tom. Do you mean Noam Chomsky?
Yeah.
Noam Chomsky.
Well, don't get me wrong. The Contras did commit human rights abuses, but it wasn't all Contra groups, because everybody just thinks the Contras was just this one big rebel group. That's not true. They were made up of multiple factions. The main reason why they got a bad reputation was because one faction called the FDN, which was called the Nicaraguan Democratic Force, they were the main human rights abusers. The other Contra groups were not really known for doing that stuff. Not that I'm saying that they didn't do it, but it was far less compared to the FDN.
Yeah, but you see, the Contras were armed and trained by the U.S. Army, so it fits it right in with the leftist narrative that the United States is supporting these butchers in Central America.
You know what's very funny? The United States were not the first people to support the Contras. It was the Argentinian government at the time.
What time was this, in the 80s or the 70s?
It all started in Well, the Contras were formed right after the Sandinistas took power in 1979.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's after
Sandinistas also commit human rights abuses anyway.
Yeah, but the Contras didn't get support from the United States until 1981 when Reagan took office, because Jimmy Carter wasn't supporting the Contras.
Of course,
I've heard a ton. There was moments where like the Sandinistas will like murder, rape, and torture people, and like they will go to like anybody's house who was like they would be accused of supporting the Contras, and they were also executed by the Sandinistas.
Yeah, well, there was this. Well, yeah, there was these incidents where the indigenous tribes, and you know, like how indigenous people can be very traditional sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, what happens was when the Sandinistas took power, they had all these socialist and left-wing Marxist reforms, including land reforms, and a lot of indigenous tribes like the Mosquitoes, who are the main indigenous tribe in Nicaragua, what they did was they looked at all this communist Marxist crap that the Sandinistas were doing, and they were like, hey, this goes against like tradition and everything, and it requires us to give up our land. No, we are against this. We will support the Contras if we have to.
And they all got like raped and killed and shit because how dare they go against communism, goy?
Yeah, that's a similar thing that what happens in Chile when Allende took over. I mean, he tried to nationalize all these industries that were owned by families for hundreds of years.
Oh yeah, I've heard about that on the Daily Show.
Yeah, Daniel Ortega, the Sandinista leader, that's what he tried doing. That a lot of his policies were leftist and collective. He tried nationalizing a lot of things, and a lot of indigenous tribes were just like, hey, this breaks tradition. We don't want to be part of this. We're arming. We're gonna fight.
Yeah, since many indigenous tribes are very traditional and stuff, they like carrying on the indigenous traditions. No, that's probably why they had a problem with communism.
Yeah, okay. Well, because doesn't communism go against tradition?
Oh yeah, they hate it. They hate it like with the bear. Look at all these concepts. Like I've heard them like fuck the traditional family and shit like that.
Well, you do realize that a lot of indigenous tribes, especially in Latin America, are very traditional, and
oh yeah,
so
yeah. Good luck getting the indigenous people in America to revolt against the evil American imperialists. Good luck, faggots.
Too busy running casinos.
It's kind of funny because like the indigenous, like the pure dark brown people of Nicaragua supported the Contras, whereas the European descendants, like the white pale Hispanics, were mostly Sandinistas.
Damn. Well, I just hope more Contras could start executing Sandinistas again.
They need to throw them out of helicopters.
Either that, or they'll probably just get another Somoza. If you don't know who Somoza was, he was like the Batista of Nicaragua, because that was the guy the Sandinistas overthrew. He was like the Batista of Nicaragua.
Yeah.
We need to get some more
culturally enriched people being thrown from helicopters.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy's probably got so triggered. Conservatives and right-wing libertarians, Pinochet.
Yeah, but anyway, back to Nicaragua. So like, you know how you say that the Contras were responsible for human rights abuses. You're not saying that they were like 100% saints, but
no, of course not.
But weren't the Sandinistas far worse?
I would probably say so, because there was a demoscene graphic that was reported at the end of the war that the Sandinistas, while it wasn't well known, they executed more people, but but you didn't hear about it, because the difference was between the Contras killing people and the Sandinistas killing people is that usually the Sandinistas, their killings were usually done quietly.
Yeah, that's the thing about leftist hypocrisy, is that they like whenever like there's anti-communist paramilitaries like fighting against communism, they just like to label them as evil fascist, racist terrorists. Like for example, remember the Tea Partiers, the white Tea Partier guys from Oregon who were occupying the empty building? The media on the left completely described them as white terrorists and told them that they need to start obeying the law. But yet when FARC and all these other communist militants start executing a bunch of innocent people, where's the left?
Yeah, exactly.
Support the revolution.
Like, I remember watching, like, the Sandinista propaganda videos, like the ones that were in English, where they had, like, all these Americans down there and the missionaries down there saying, oh, Americans saying that it's good down here, then that means all of a sudden all the Sandinistas are good because they let some Americans down there, and what the Americans saw was good, it was cool, therefore all the Sandinistas was this good, loving, caring government. No, they weren't. Those Americans that saw Nicaragua, they only saw what the Sandinistas wanted them to see.
Well, that's what the DPRK does too.
Yeah, they try to keep everything covered up. And it's funny. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say because Delta brought up the DPRK. You know what's really funny? Because many leftists like to say the Sandinistas did not get support from the Eastern Bloc. Are you fucking kidding me? If you realize that one of their main weapons when the Sandinistas came to power and they built their army, one of their main weapons was a Type 58 assault rifle. You know what that is? That is a North Korean modeled AK-47. So don't sit there and tell me they didn't get support from the Eastern Bloc, you idiots.
I had a stamp on one of my pages. I think it was like my DeviantArt page, and some Serbian communist got mad because I had the Croatian Ustashi on it. Because they killed 50 grillion Serbs and Jews.
So like, yeah, I'm not saying the Contras were all saints. Of course, they committed human rights abuses, but don't give me this crap that the Sandinistas are guilty either.
I was debating with Dindu communist that Delta knows about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like when we were talking, remember when we were arguing with him about the communist militants and stuff? He says that whenever FARC commits like these like human rights abuses, like they start killing people, raping women, they say that it's a bunch of anti-communists dressing up like FARC members to try and defame them with these people anymore because they're so intellectually dishonest.
Oh, that's stupid. Why argue with them in the first place?
That's pretty fucking laughable. I remember, because, like, back to Nicaragua for just 1 minute, I remember hearing a story where a Nicaraguan farmer who was neutral during the whole thing, he remember one time seeing Sandinista soldiers stripping down their uniforms, dressing up as Contras, and then heading towards a village. To do what, I wonder?
Of course,
we should just argue that it was... it was Allende's people who dressed up as Pinochet supporters and raped all those women with rats and dogs.
Yeah, anybody could argue with that as well.
Yeah.
Dude, it's like ridiculous. It's like, look at the evils of Pinochet supporters. Yet Allende didn't do nothing. He was democratically elected.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, I find ironic how these people will complain about how, we make jokes about Pinochet throwing people out of helicopters. So like the thing about that stuff though is that like these are the same people who have made fun of the Cubans who have risked their lives coming into the United States getting eaten by sharks. They have made a lot of jokes like throwing people in gulags and in death camps.
Oh, I've heard that too, and they'll make jokes about killing the evil Jewish occupiers.
Yeah, and then hell, even a lot of them have made Holocaust jokes saying that they're going to put all the Zionists in the oven. And using and putting a picture of Benjamin Netanyahu in a gas chamber, but the minute we make a joke about that stuff, we're labeled evil fascist, evil Nazi.
I know, it's hypocrisy. It's like absolutely hilarious. I got a better idea. Why don't we just bomb all your little precious Muslims in Gaza to smithereens? If I made jokes about that, you know how they would react? You genocide supporter.
I bet if I ran around cheering, supporting the Black Shadow, they would go insane.
Of course they would. They're retarded.
Yeah, because like I'm not saying the Black Shadow's angels or anything, but hey, maybe I should just go around saying, "Go Black Shadow, kill those communists."
Or support Franco in the Spanish Civil War. They'll get really triggered.
Or shoot the MS-13 members. Well, sometimes I wonder if. Sometimes I wonder.
I'm an idiot. I'm kidding. I'm not an idiot.
Sometimes I wonder if we should have zombie squads. Like I don't know if you know what that is.
No, I don't.
Well, apparently, like there was. I heard that back in I don't know if it was the Netherlands or something. I don't know if they still have them today, but I hear like. One European country, I don't know which one it was, they had like this special police unit called the Zombie Squad, and it was basically like the bottom line, like the gloves are off. It wasn't like, no, let's not be PC correct, let's just go in, take care of business.
I don't approve of this. This is fascist. This is racist.
To advocate zombie squads?
You're an incredible faggot. Marxist, socialist, trash, retarded.
They even
Pull him to his knees, put a shotgun in his mouth.
Here's the thing, though. This is kind of like what Christopher Cantwell said. The problem with the left is that they've been using violence and coercion against us, but yet one Trump supporter gets punched in the face. I mean, not one supporter, but a protester gets punched in the face, and everybody and all the leftists are panicking and calling rightists violent.
No, not only that. When a Trump supporter gets punched, they cheer.
Oh yeah,
that's
they support like shooting, like we should kill the fascist scum, and yet when us like nationalists protect ourselves, oh look at these violent fascists doing all these horrible things. I'm like, who's I'm like Antifa?
Yeah.
Fucking dumbass.
Yeah, the Overton window has shifted so far to the left in the past, like, 5 or 6 decades that there's just this overwhelming hypocrisy among the left that they just can't apply the same standards to themselves that they do to rightists. I mean, like, they have this, like, they view people with, like, center-right political affiliations as, like, far-right.
Even though I don't...
People who are with, like, center-left political affiliations as being, like, center.
They're racist, intolerant.
Yeah. So, like...
The third way.
Yeah, like, as you guys said, if you make a joke about, you know, Hitler or Pinochet, they're just aghast that you could make a joke about something so heinous, but they'll turn around and make a joke about, you know, Che Guevara or, you know, Stalin killing all the kulaks.
Or they'll make jokes about how Muslims are shooting rockets at Jews and they cheer them on and shit.
Or about how Benjamin Netanyahu should be put in a gas chamber.
Oh yeah, hypocrites. They're not so much for the Jews.
But if I do that, I'd be accused of. Tom, play that drop.
Anti-Semitism.
You mean this one?
Anti-Semitism.
Yep, that's what I'd be accused of if you ever made a joke like that.
Yeah, you can't make a joke like that, but they can.
You still got fucked in the... Do you have that fucked in the head clip, Ethan?
Yeah.
Like, also, like, it's not just, like, leftists who exhibit this hypocrisy. It's also a lot of governments, especially in Europe as well. Because, I mean, when's the last time you've ever heard of somebody being arrested for hate speech for saying that they didn't like German people or saying they didn't like French people? I mean, that's never happened. But as soon as you say, like, oh, I don't like Muslims or Jews, like, you're getting your ass captured by the JIDF.
Yep.
There's no two ways about it.
They'll have your ass thrown in jail and everything.
Exactly.
And violate your freedom of speech.
Yeah, like if you express extreme left-wing sympathies, like let's say you say, oh, we should bring back, you know, the Soviet Union, we should throw all the, you know, capitalist dissenters and bourgeoisie scum into gulags. I mean, people just like, oh yeah, that's a legitimate political belief, who cares? But if you say like, oh, we should bring back the Third Reich and gas all the kikes, oh, then...
Or we should bring back... Or like you're in Spain, we should bring back Franco and put all the feminists back in the kitchen. They'll throw a temper tantrum.
Or if you're in Chile and you talk about how you want to throw communists out of helicopters, they will just cry rivers of
That's a good idea. But that, and you know like how Pinochet threw people out of helicopters. That's why I made the joke of Franco putting all the women back in the kitchen.
Yeah, I'd actually like to try an experiment one day. I want to make a Facebook account of like an extreme communist and make another account of like an extreme anti-Semite Nazi and just see who gets banned first.
Zionists have done that before. They've made like pro-Israel groups like really anti-Palestine stuff, and they put really anti-Israel stuff, and they say who would get banned first. And I'm expecting the Jewish stuff got banned first.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
I don't know.
They're so for Jews, yet literally hate them at the same time. Pick a side.
Even though Mark Zuckerberg is Jewish.
Mark Zuckerberg!
Oh god, have you guys heard of him making a pact with Angela Merkel to ban anybody who speaks out against the refugees?
Yeah, I saw E.T. Williams' video.
Oh, what a fucking cock. Don't mind a helicopter.
See, the thing about Mark Zuckerberg is that he could probably be a self-loathing Jew himself. See, the thing is, he doesn't realize that many of those ISIS members and stuff hate Jews a lot. So he shouldn't be like making them off limits to criticism. In fact, he should be making them very limited to criticism. He gets death threats from ISIS almost every single day.
Well, see, I don't think like here's my opinion about that. I don't think that people like Mark Zuckerberg, I don't think that the reason why they ban anti-Muslim speech is because they actually love Muslims and they want to live with Muslims. That's not the case at all. People like Mark Zuckerberg probably don't live within a 10-mile radius of a Muslim. What they want to do is they want to import all these people into the West to destroy, Western group identity, because we have all these people with us now who hate our guts and hate our culture. It's the average working class person who's affected most by multiculturalism. It's not these rich people like Mark Zuckerberg and George Soros who are actually going to feel the effects of these policies.
Well, in that case, Tom, why don't we just convert? Well, in that case, Tom, why don't we just convert to communism? Get rid of all these rich people.
You can't though, because you see, the rich people will just be part of the government then. And,
yeah, exactly.
I saw this meme I couldn't stop laughing at because it was making fun of the socialists, right?
Plus, not all rich people are like that.
One thing that made me laugh is that it says blaming rich people because there's so much poverty is like blaming people who are healthy for the amount of diseases.
Even though some rich people intend to be pharmaceutical owners.
Yeah, that brings up an interesting thing I want to talk about. Are you guys familiar with Martin Shkreli?
No. I've heard the name, but I don't know who it is. I've heard that.
Yeah, he's this. He's the guy who bought out the patent to some AIDS drug. I can't remember the name, and he increased the price by like 1,000%, and he got rich off it. And like all the leftists just hate this guy, especially like gay rights activists. Like,
what's a drug successful?
It's I don't know. It's some obscure drug to treat AIDS patients. It's not. Here's the thing though. Like it's the like I can't recall the name of the drug off the top of my head, but it's one of these really obscure drugs that only treats a condition that very few AIDS patients actually have. And the thing is, like a lot of AIDS patients who are on who have medical insurance, their insurance company pays for the drug, and they don't pay any out-of-pocket costs for it. So if the price of the drug increases, like they don't pay anymore. It's the drug company that pays. But these leftists and gay rights activists, they're all their jimmies are in a wrestle because this guy dared to increase the price of a drug and profit off of it. But I just think it's really funny. Actually, if you look at interviews of this guy, like this guy has a YouTube channel, and he does these live streams where he gets people to come on and just like debate him. And some of the people he debates, they're just fucking hilarious. They just come on and say, "Oh, you're a motherfucker, you're a piece of crap, bourgeoisie scumbag," and then he just destroys their argument just with like one line. He'll just be like, "How much do you know about the pharmaceutical industry?" And they'll just be like, "Oh, it doesn't matter. You're a scumbag. You're a piece of crap." Like it's very entertaining to watch. I highly recommend that you watch.
Because they're mentally retarded.
Yeah.
Anybody?
Leftist?
What?
What?
Yeah, a lot of these leftists that he debates, they just
they have no brains, no education, and no future.
Yeah, that's the problem with like most of them. Like
including the guy who said that. Yeah, and including the guy who said that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't talk.
People are so economically illiterate that it's unbelievable.
Well, it's just like social justice and wealth redistribution. It's not in the human nature. That's just a fact.
Oh yeah, it's not. Look at all these people. Like I hear like arguments. They say, "Oh, you're only against homos because of religion." It's no, because of adverse health outcomes. They get freaking high rates of AIDS.
Yeah, exactly. They're also more likely to develop cancer as well.
And
You ever seen
disease in general?
You ever seen Rent? Anyone?
Nope.
Okay.
I know what it is, but I've never seen it.
Okay, never mind. Never mind.
All right.
It was like I didn't. I don't know. It was okay.
Hey Tom, I'm starting to take your advice now.
On what?
So remember how you told Luis that like he shouldn't be responding to all these, these losers, like the left.
Oh, yeah.
So like, because kind of like you said, their whole goal is just to like advance Marxist agenda, and by giving them publicity, you're pretty much giving them what they want.
Yeah, I like.
Ethan, I'm gonna send you a song. Like it's mocking the Spanish like Republicans who said, "You shut up, pass." It's pretty funny.
Okay, but here's the thing, though. A lot of leftists, especially people with Marxist sympathies, they're not interested in having a debate in good faith with you. They just want to shame you and call you a bourgeoisie scumbag and tell you how great Marxism is and, long live the revolution. They're not interested in having a debate about, economics. If they were, they wouldn't be fucking Marxists. But what we have to do with these people, like, I'm not saying don't ever acknowledge their existence, but if you must interact with them, just troll them. Don't.
Yeah, I'm just gonna do what Luis did to the Finnish Bolshevik when he made the response video to you guys with the Holodomor. I'm just gonna spam the fuck out of his comment section and just say, "No, you're wrong, and then tell him you should be thrown out of a helicopter, kind of like what Tyler did to him.
I'm not gonna do that. I'll try to be more mature because they'll use guilt by association. They'll say everyone in our group's is doing this.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, if you to be honest, Ethan, if you spam the comment section, it seems, from their perspective anyway, it's going to seem a little bit immature. But if you're forced to interact with them, like, let's say these guys make a video response to you and you feel compelled to address it, from now on, just say, like, just don't take them seriously. Just, say, like, we're going to throw you at a fucking helicopter, we're going to throw all the degenerates into ovens, and what you're saying is just...
we'll put all the women back in the kitchen.
We're gonna execute you leftists in a gas chamber.
I got a good solution for the feminists too. They'll love this.
Go back to the kitchen.
Yeah, kind of like what Christopher Cantwell said. Just block leftists. He says, "I only block leftists is because I lack a helicopter to throw them out of."
Well, I mean, I don't block anybody.
I don't either.
I don't typically get people coming onto my channel and trying to mess with me just because they know that if they do, they're not going to receive a very kind welcome. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I guess, but there's two people who will never learn.
I always just try to keep it professional.
Yeah, that's true.
I always try to stay calm and everything, just play it cool. But occasionally there are times where you just gotta go ballistic. You gotta go E.T. Williams on them.
I do go ballistic on these motherfuckers, like I did with the Finnish Bolshevik. I went ballistic on that asshole.
Yeah, but one time when we were debating with the free flow in them, we brought him in the chat. It was that day when supposedly Luis had shown his asshole on camera.
I was a commie then.
But that didn't happen though. But anyway, that's not the point. The point was that the free flow was in there, and you know how the free flow is. The guy likes to turn civil debates into trash talking matches.
Oh yeah, he'll call you like a monkey or a Neanderthal. He's called me an ape before. He said some racist shit.
To be honest, I don't really watch the free flows videos. So
he doesn't even upload too many anyway.
Even though Soldiers was being calm and collective and being like civil with him and telling him, "Oh no, I disagree with you because of this, this, and that," and being calm. But
shut the fuck up, you fucking Neanderthal!
Yeah, it kept yelling at him, talking shit to him, and then it got to the point where Brandon was all like, "You know what? Fuck you."
The time has come.
I did. It was like he didn't care what I had to say, and even when I tried to give him an example and I showed him some facts, he just like ignored him and says they don't count. And when he got mad at me when I didn't read the entire page of the Adam Smith wasn't a capitalist, because I was like, and the reason why I didn't, I mean, like, I read some of it, but I didn't read the whole thing because this is literally almost the same argument I've heard before. So if it's literally similar to the same arguments I heard before, why should I continue to read it?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. Sometimes you just have to say, fuck off. Like, I'm not going to listen to your crap. Because, I mean, like, take this whole debate with, I think, Red Scare TV and Finnish Bolshevik about the Holodomor. I mean, me and Luis provided substantial evidence that the Soviet Union deliberately tried to starve the kulaks and to discriminate against them, but they just don't listen to evidence. We've even provided documents where Joseph Stalin said, like, I don't want movement in and out of the Ukraine because I don't want these kulaks to be able to obtain food. Yet these people will look at that and say, like, oh, it's right-wing propaganda, whatever. So, like, there's really no point in having a civil debate with them. You just have to, at some point, you just have to say, like, piss off. If you're not going to listen to reason and evidence, then you can just fucking shoot yourself.
Oh, Free Flow's videos are bad anyway. Don't watch them.
It's like, why don't you just throw yourself out of a helicopter?
Why don't you go back to the kitchen?
I've had to listen to this almost my whole life, and I just got to the point to where I've had it. I can't take it.
Yeah, I can't listen to it anymore.
It's like when I was debating that Dindu troll I was telling you guys about. The thing is, it didn't matter how many evidence I provided. He would just dismiss anything as right-wing propaganda.
Yeah, you should have just said to him, like,
suck my dick.
Yeah, they keep saying, stop watching Fox News, stop watching Fox News, Fox News, Fox News.
Stop watching communist news, faggot.
What the fuck makes you think we just watch Fox News all day? We get our information from Fox News.
I have no idea.
What's going on in Nicaragua? Are they talking about that on Fox News? I don't think so. I can't find anything.
When's the last time Fox News has talked about Pinochet?
Yeah,
it was a whole lot of more.
When?
When was the last time Fox News ever talked about reverse racism?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, Fox News is pretty centrist, all things considered.
I don't know.
They're a bunch of Zionist shills.
I don't know. Besides John Stossel and maybe like 2 other people.
Oh God! Don't get me started on Stossel. I hate that motherfucker. That little clown.
Sean Hannity.
Stossel's pretty cool, but I don't think he's on Fox News anymore. I think
he is. He's just on the weekends.
Oh.
Dude, I had to fucking hear that little. I had to hear that guy that I was taking economics in high school. I hated his guts, and why? Because I was a freaking commie. Because I was a socialist.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think it's on the weekends. I don't know. But then again, I hardly watch it, so how would I know? I think he is. I think he's still on there, just on the weekends.
Yeah, here in Canada, Fox News, 5 years ago or so, they tried to open up like a Canadian branch of Fox News, and the Canadian government basically told them to fuck off. So we don't get Fox News.
Why? Because Because some Trudeau cuck type.
Well, that was before Trudeau, but apparently here in Canada we have some sort of law here in Canada where I don't know. Apparently Fox News doesn't count as news. So
remember.
What about CNN?
Trudeau's right wing.
Well, yeah, we get CNN and NBC.
They're counted as news.
Apparently.
What the fuck?
We used to have this thing called Sun News, run by Ezra Levant, but that got shut down.
Ezra Levant.
They were
so now the only remotely right-wing media outlet we have is Rebel.
I know. I remember arguing with. I remember arguing with a socialist from Wales, and he said, "Oh, I hate Sunday News. Don't like the Canadian version of Fox News."
Yeah, I mean,
I did like a pro-Israel post, and they're like the same Dindu commie totally dismissed the point the post was trying to make. He totally just blew it off, and this was back when I was a leftist. He said it was Sun News, so therefore it's invalid.
I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's the thing that they do all the time. They dismiss anything that contradicts them as some propaganda, but the thing is, they get sources from people who openly call themselves the propaganda ministry, and then they have the nerve to tell us that we're getting our sources from propagandists. Are you fucking kidding me?
I know.
To be fair and objective and everything, whenever I come across, whenever somebody sends me an article from a leftist news outlet like The Guardian or Salon, to be honest, I'm very, very critical of it. So I can't blame leftists for being very critical of right-wing media outlets. But I'm not dumb enough to just oh, this article's from The Guardian, therefore it has to be complete garbage. I'm still willing to read it, give it the time of day, and analyze it. I'm not just going to dismiss it outright. But that's what these leftists do. As soon as they see that something's from Fox News or The Guardian, they're just no, not reading it. Fuck you.
Yeah. I don't really watch right-wing medias in general, really. I just check them out every now and then. But even then, they just they just intend to say stuff that I'm just like, what? No fucking way. I'm not buying that.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Luis once had a debate with that Dindu troll, and that Dindu troll, let's just say he got a source of this Soviet like propaganda ministry website, and he was trying to say that the Holodomor was just a fascist conspiracy. But Luis pointed out the fact that the article was not talking about the Holodomor, it was just talking about something else. And when Luis pointed that out, he highlighted it, took a screenshot of it, and then from there, he said, I didn't see that in the original article. After he got caught, he was like, you're just lying.
Does anybody ever like watch The Blaze or that?
That's the Glenn Beck show, right?
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
I don't watch him. I only watch The Blaze because of Dana Lash. That's it.
Yeah, apparently The Blaze is not doing too well. Financially.
Yeah. The only person I like over there is Dana Lash. She's the only one. Everyone else I don't care for.
I get my sources from InfoWars.
Just like Fox News, I don't pay attention to them either, but occasionally I'll check in with Sean Hannity.
A pack of trolls seem to be obsessed with me.
Yeah,
So I think right here.
It's the cakes!